Good evening, and for one last time, welcome to the Crown Hill Journey. I am Christina Apt. I am your guide on this journey. I'm also the author of the book Crown Hill, A Novel of Love, Life in the Afterlife. And I rode my bike in the rain this afternoon, and I can't do a thing with my hair, so sorry. Anyway, tonight is the final chapter in this book. We started in on April 1st with the intention to finish it on April 30th, and we have reached that. The things you need to know for tonight are that Brady bailed terribly on Meg once she started to tell him about Clara Johnson having the journal that belonged to Rose, who ended up, as Clara told Meg, being Meg's grandmother, which was kind of crazy and bizarre, and we were all kind of scratching our heads over that one. But as Clara explained it, it made perfect sense. And then also that she was meant to come to Crown Hill. So Clara was very clear about those things, and Meg has a feeling that Clara is that person, has that ability. But when Meg tells Brady he can't handle it, and he leaves her high and dry, says, "See ya." But that night, Meg has terrible nightmares and then wakes up and actually has visions of Owen Southwick, who actually throws a television at her and tries to hurt her. She then stays awake through the night, determined that when she gets up in the morning, she's going to call Clara. She calls Clara the next morning. It's 4th of July. She and Brady are supposed to picnic, and she has no idea. She has a feeling she'll never hear from Brady again. She calls Clara. Clara says, "I've been waiting for this call. I thought something happened in your sleep last night, or you had a long night, so I will be there shortly." So Meg starts to clean up, put her house back together. She gets done. She hears a knock on the door. She thinks it's Clara. She goes out to the door, and it is not Clara. It's Brady. And he has come back to apologize. He has spoken to his mother, who told him a story of Clara Johnson, several stories, and her ability to know things, to be able to foretell what's going to happen. And within that, Brady realized that he was wrong about the way he reacted to Meg, and he needs to go and make it right. So Brady comes to her house on 4th of July. They sit down. He explains to her that he is sorry, that he understands that Clara is that person, and that he should have been more understanding of Meg. And then he tells her that Clara Johnson told his mother, as it goes in small towns, right, that Meg was destined to come to Crown Hill and also to be part of his life. So, woo, lots of stuff going on. And now we're ready to come to the final chapter. So Meg and Brady are in the kitchen. Sorry, I rode my bike today in the rain and my hair just won't go anywhere. So I'll stop picking at it now. As my mother would say, quit picking at it. Anyway, as Meg and Brady are in the kitchen having this conversation, Clara Johnson shows up. And she walks in so quietly that they don't realize she's there, except when she sees them and then tells them how glad she is that they have found each other. And they are startled by her appearance. It was almost like she appeared out of nowhere. So that's where we are. Let's begin. Alrighty. Glasses, sip of wine, the final chapter. Here we go. Crown Hill, A Novel of Love, Life, and the Afterlife. Book 3, Meg, Chapter 19. Clara's quiet presence felt unnerving to Meg and Brady. It wasn't just that her arrival had uncoupled their lover's embrace. It was that the elderly woman's silent appearance bordered on mysterious. Meg immediately tried to restore normalcy to the situation. "Good morning, Clara. I'm so glad to see you. You know Brady Callahan, don't you?" "Good morning, Meg. Oh, yes, of course. Brady and I have known each other since before he was born. Haven't we, young man?" As Brady struggled to regain his composure, Meg deemed the expression on his face as priceless. At some point, she was going to engage this man in a high-stakes poker game, as he had absolutely no ability to hide his feelings. Finally, the usually engaging farmer recovered his composure enough to speak. "Yes, ma'am, we have known each other a long time." One sentence. That was all Brady could manage. Taking pity on him, Meg moved toward Clara and escorted her to a chair at the kitchen table, setting her oversized patchwork purse nearby. "Can I get you some tea, Clara?" No, thank you, my dear. I've had my 2 cups for the day. I would like some ice water, though, if you don't mind. While Meg filled a tall glass, Clara engaged the reticent farmer. How are your parents, Brady? I heard that your father had a bit of a spell a while ago. They're both fine, thank you for asking, ma'am. Dad did have a high blood pressure issue back in May, but you know my mom. She got him to the doctor and found out everything there was to know about his problem. Now she's got him eating healthier and taking vitamins, and he's doing just great. Meg listened with interest to the exchange about the Callahans. Brady hadn't really shared much about his parents. The quick vignette created a charming image of the couple within Meg's mind. Yet, in returning to the table, Meg refocused her thoughts on the reason for Clara's presence and how Brady might react to that reason. So, my dear, how are you this morning? How are you managing? Clara inquired as Meg joined them. I'm sure it was a very long night for you. Feeling Brady's eyes upon her, Meg took a deep breath and forged ahead. Yes, it was very long and scary, actually. That's why I'm grateful you could come by this morning, Clara. I truly believe that what happened last night is connected to all that we discussed yesterday. Placing a reassuring hand on Meg's arm, Clara spoke with gentle authority. I have no doubt that you are correct, Meg, but I would like to hear exactly what happened last night. Then I can better understand what we need to do. Crown Hill is your home. You belong here, and I intend to ensure that you are protected in your happiness here. It is a purpose I accepted long ago when I laid claim to your grandmother's journal. Clara's words caused a powerful sense of relief to flood through Meg's being. The strong-willed woman hadn't realized just how much Owen's threatening actions had frightened her. The idea that there was someone who not only wanted to help her, but was able to do so, caused Meg to release a cascade of tears over the comforting response. Meg, sweetheart, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Brady tenderly reached out and raised her face to his. Meg could see the care of Brady's heart reflected in his passionate blue eyes. His kindness caused Meg to cry more freely, a reaction that softened the usually strong man. Meg, I don't know what's going on or why you are so upset, but I can help. I will help if you'll let me. That's why I'm here. It's why I came back after last night. Please stop crying. Please tell me what it is you need, what I can do. Brady, you are such a fine young man. I am so pleased that you and Meg have found each other. Clara's words carried a compassion that encouraged Brady's trust. Possibly I can help explain what is happening here and what's going on with Meg as well. The question is where to start. Perhaps with a story about Crown Hill. You see, Brady, over the years, Crown Hill has been home to many people, including a couple named Mary and Owen Southwick. I speak of the Southwicks specifically because of a tragic event that occurred here involving them both. There's really no delicate way to say this, so I'll just tell you directly. Mary was found hanged in a woodshed out behind this house. In fact, it's the woodshed that still stands by the barn. Brady's mind zeroed in on the first day that he came to Crown Hill. It was in response to Meg's emergency call about a danger in that woodshed. He remembered thinking that her panic was a bit extreme, but eventually dismissed it as Meg's inexperience with rural life. As Clara told the Southwick story, Brady began to wonder about Meg's true fear that day. Of course, as news of Mary Southwick's death spread through Eden, people started to talk. The town sheriff at the time immediately ruled her death a suicide, ending any investigation of the case. However, neighbors of the Southwicks and friends of Mary believed that Owen had murdered his wife and made it look like suicide. Soon people were telling stories of Mary's spirit appearing as a terrifying ghost haunting her own house. Clara paused to allow Brady to process the details of Mary Southwick's demise. The wise woman could see that his mind was evaluating the story and its likelihood. She now needed to unravel the rest of the tale in a manner that would keep Brady moving towards belief. Over the years, Crown Hill declined from a home of life and light to a place of despair and darkness, primarily due to accounts of Mary's hauntings. People in Eden truly feared being anywhere in or around this property. In fact, according to one of the most enduring Crown Hill stories, Clara's revelation was cut short by the shock of a sudden and deep chill spreading through the kitchen. Not a cooling breeze coming through a window, more a chilling winter's day invading the house. The cold virtually froze Clara, Meg, and Brady in place, arresting their words as well. As the three sat suspended in time, a pale blue light steadily appeared and remained near them. From within the light, a voice spoke. I am weary of these constant stories portraying me as a cruel and haunting spirit. I am neither. I am a woman who lived a tortured life and died a painful death. It is because of these circumstances that my spirit has been trapped here on this earth, and I have become a misunderstood and desperate soul. Clara immediately identified the voice and understood the moment. It was Mary Southwick reaching out and trying to connect to all that had drawn Clara to Meg and that which had brought Meg to Crown Hill. Clara's clear understanding of the moment freed her mind and allowed her to speak. Dear Mary, we understand that the manner in which your husband Owen ended your life has kept you painfully bound to this earth. And while your resultant actions have often been deemed evil and cruel, we know they are only reflections of the evil and cruelty inflicted upon you through your husband's menacing nature. Mary, know that we feel your goodness, and we are here to help you. Your time is now. It is in this moment that you are free to leave all of your pain and sorrow and move to the light. Meg and Brady sat tangled in a web of confusion. The voice invading the kitchen was unknown and frightening, unlike anything the couple had ever experienced. It was only when they heard Clara speak the name, Mary, that they realized the mysterious voice belonged to Mary Southwick. Instinctively, the two turned to Clara in watchful wait, wordlessly listening as Mary spoke again. I understand that your gathered strength has the power to help me pass from this world. But it is not only about your power. It is about the truth. the truth of my passing and why I have been so long trapped between body and being. So many times I have heard people say that my haunted spirit was caused by my death at the murdered hands of my husband. Within the core of such accusations, yes, is the truth. It was Owen's evil nature, his cruelty, which caused me to die. Yet understand, my life did not end within the force of Owen's hands. With each word spoken, Mary's voice became stronger and more compelling, particularly to Meg. In reading through her grandmother's journal, the turn of every page had caused Meg to feel a growing connection to Mary. Now, hearing the haunted woman's voice and listening to the passion of her words, Meg was moving beyond a connection of written imaginings. She felt a bond of spiritual intensity forming with Mary, centered within Crown Hill. The kitchen remained immersed in a deeply chilled state as Mary confessed the final moments of her life and death. After years of enduring a marriage of angry words and hurtful actions, I realized life as I knew it would never change. Owen would always seek to control me through his anger and my fear. There would never be a time or a place where I would be safe, protected, able to live in soulful peace. Within that understanding came an enormously hopeless need to end my painful despair. I simply could not go on one more day. As Mary continued, her words became images and actions within Meg's mind. It was as if the two were connected as one. After preparing Owen's dinner and making his fresh bread, I went to the back hall and pulled out a wooden crate that I often used as a makeshift step stool. With crate in hand, I went out to the yard and stood on the wooden box to reach and untie my clothesline. I placed the length of rope into the crate and set off for the woodshed. Once there, I threw the clothesline over a beam and made a tight knot against the wood's rough-hewn edges. I then gathered the free end of the rope and tied a noose, as I had watched Owen do so many times in slaughtering livestock on the farm. Stepping onto the crate, I placed the noose around my neck. Meg could feel the clothesline around her own throat and wondered if she would actually experience the tightening of the noose as well. She silently offered a quick prayer for her well-being as Mary continued with her end-of-life story. Then it was the moment, my own moment, when I could actually choose life or death. Savoring one fond farewell view of my beloved Crown Hill through the woodshed door, I closed my eyes and made my decision. With all of my will, I kicked the crate away and launched my body into a violent swinging motion from the beam. There I dangled until I drew my final breath, hanging until the neighbors found me hours later. And in that is the truth of my death, as it needed to be told before my spirit could be free to pass. Mary's words caused an intensity within Meg's being. It was as if a lifetime of words had been stored within her, all of them saved expressly for Mary Southwick. Fully inspired, Meg spoke. Mary, I can feel all of you within me. Your love of nature and beauty, your kind and giving heart, and most of all, your devotion to Crown Hill, our home. I know leaving this place that you love so dearly will be heartbreaking. But it is something that you need to do now before Owen returns and again robs you of your chance to move to the light. But before you go, know, I will ensure that Crown Hill will continue to reflect the love that you've shared here. In your gardens, on your porch, in every room where I have sensed your lingering rose fragrance. Mary, you will always be the heart of this home. As Meg's words tumbled out, the stack of dishes she had washed earlier came flying off the drain board, crashing to the floor. Without hesitation, Clara raised her hand as if to deflect a blow and spoke loudly. You are not welcome in this house. Do not stay here. Leave now and do not come again. Upon Clara's challenge, the spirit of Owen Southwick materialized before her as a menacing black force. As Brady moved to try and combat the disturbing vision, Meg cried out, Mary, you have to go now. Please, you are free to leave and know that all will be well once you are gone. Meg was silenced as Brady was forcibly knocked back against her by Owen's enraged power. As the two struggled to rise, they again heard Clara's voice calling out, You will not win this fight, Owen Southwick. I possess a power stronger than yours and will use it against you evermore. As she issued her threat, Clara reached beneath the collar of her dress, extracting a silver chain from around her neck. At the end of the chain hung an amulet, formed in the shape of a Celtic knot. Centered in the knot was a gem of black tourmaline that had long protected Clara against possessions and intrusions by evil spirits. Pushing herself away from the table, Clara stood and raised the amulet in sacred ritual. Within this house exist spirits of love, kindness, and caring. In both day and night, may the goodness of these spirits embrace all who enter and bless all who remain. And to the spirits of hatred, cruelty, and malintent, know that you have no place in this house. In entering in both day and night, you are banished and forbidden from ever entering or remaining. I pray this in the name that all is good in this world and beyond. A tumultuous fury descended upon the room as Owen unleashed his malevolent power in malevolent spirit. This is my home. Mary is my wife, and your power is meaningless, old woman. At that moment, Mary began to weep with an enduring sadness that beleaguered Meg. She could feel the lifetime of suffering that Owen had inflicted upon his wife as fully as she had experienced it in her own life with Cal. She understood Owen's control was the only thing now preventing Mary's spirit from passing. That impact fueled a resentment within Meg that flamed into an overpowering passion. Mary did not deserve to suffer any longer. If she would not choose to pass, then Meg would choose for her. Standing and stepping into the middle of the kitchen, Meg closed her eyes and took a deep, calming breath. Within her mind, she envisioned Mary as the woman she had seen in her dreams. Petite, dark-haired with deeply brown eyes, a gentle smile, a kind spirit. Within that vision, she placed herself next to Mary, gathering the woman's hands in her own. As she looked into the core of the woman's brown eyes, Meg began to transfer the power of her spirit to Mary, willing her the strength to pass. It was not enough. Meg's force was not enough against the might of Owen. "Help! I need help!" Meg's plea brought Clara and Brady immediately to her. Without pause, Clara linked her hand to Meg's, while Brady moved to do the same on the opposite side. Flanked by their spirits and joined in their strength, Meg shared her reinforced power with Mary. In painful frustration, Meg heard Owen's mocking laughter as Mary's spirit began to fade from her vision. "No, no, Mary, you cannot give up. You can't let Owen overcome your spirit again. Not when you have me here with you. Please, please try. Believe in your goodness and know that your spirit deserves to pass in the welcoming peace of the hereafter." The heartfelt intensity of Meg's words echoed through the house, enchanting spirits and beings alike. Meg could feel a change swirling around her. What was the source? From where was this energy coming? Then, within her vision, Meg saw someone approach Mary, a being that drew near and connected. All at once, a surge of energy poured through Mary's spirit. It was stunning to both women as Mary became visibly brighter and stronger, her energy force increasing and increasing until her spirit literally surged into a crystalline cascade. Mary was passing. Meg knew it was true. And amid Meg's overwhelming emotions, among the brilliance of Mary's crossing over to the light, Meg saw a clear vision of the power that had finally helped Mary pass. And immediately, she understood the reason she had come to Crown Hill. The vision was of a woman that she clearly understood to be her grandmother, Margaret Rose. It was done. She was gone. For the first time in more than a century, I was without my Mary. I understood that it was her time. She had suffered for so long, desperately wishing to pass from this world. Yet, as I watched her spirit dissolve, I remained focused on the bright light of Mary's eternal being, as if doing so might somehow keep us forever. The joy amidst my sadness was that Owen's spirit was gone from my being as well, banished, never to return. The protective spell cast by Clara's blessing ensured that it would be so, and I was grateful for her transcendent powers. As a warming air again permeated my being, I encouraged a scent of roses from the arbor to drift through my windows and doors. It was a needed and soothing action, as the past days had been exhausting for all. I watched as Brady and Meg gently guided Clara back to her chair at the kitchen table. I listened as the three reflected upon all that had happened, from Meg's traumatic experience with Owen to Mary's passing. All of it reinforced the stark reality that my world, the world I had known for so long, was now gone. Yet, as that life within me was ending, so a new one was beginning. In dealing with the spirits that had so long defined me, Meg claimed her own place within my being, as it was meant to be. Margaret Rose Flynn was now the spirit of Crown Hill, joining with Mary and Edward and the many who played a part in my 150-year-old existence. For that is the life of a house, a patchwork of the people and the experiences that filter through its being, leaving traces to forever be. And so, to those with whom I may someday share a future, and know that whatever path you take to reach me, no matter where your journey begins, whether you have the heart to give, or if the obstacles you have overcome have taken too much. In that moment, when you walk beneath Mary's gracious rose-covered arbor, when you rest on Meg's treasured wraparound porch, you will have found a place of peace and caring, a place where you will be forever safe, a place where together we will make and meet life, a place that you will always be able to call home. We made it. So, I hope you enjoyed that journey. I was thinking about it today and realizing I felt badly all day that I cried so much last night. Tonight's not too bad. And when I thought and tried to figure out why, I realized I have not looked at this book since 2014 when I wrote it. And so reading it to me was in some ways as revealing as it was to you, because I didn't know, I didn't remember. And so, there were some chapters that were kind of like, yeah, whatever. But for the most part, I enjoyed it. And I hope that you enjoyed it as well. Okay, so now I want to have the story behind the story. Like right now, I want to be able to tell you all the stories. But no, we're not going to do that. Thank you, Janice and Peggy. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So tomorrow night we will gather again, and I will read you book 4. I found it today. I was slightly concerned that I didn't know where it was, but I did find it, and it's called Catherine. And I haven't read it yet, so I will read it, and I'll be interested to see if I like it. At the time, I thought it was the best chapter of the book. So we'll see what happens. But I will read that to you tomorrow night. And then on Saturday, I'm so excited for Saturday because you're going to get to see the inside of the house, and you will get to see the porch and the porch swing and all those wonderful things that we described in this book, and meet Missy, Singer Dumars, who is running a fabulous farm at the farm right now. And it's so cool because it's what that farm is meant to be. And it's something that I never did. And I'm so glad that she came. She was meant to be there. And she will share that story of how she came there all the way from Colorado. And I'm telling you, it's a story and a half. And then you'll get to meet Candy and hear how she came into this story and what she brought to the story and how she made it possible. Without Candy, this book would never have been written. And then I will get to tell you, and I'm going to sit down and make notes about all the things in this book that I guarantee that you went, oh, yeah, right, that never happened. And I promise you, I'm going to tell you how they happened. So I look forward to sharing all that because for me as an author, that's the fun, to be able to give you the frosting on the cake of how it happened. I go to the Toronto Film Festival sometimes, and my greatest pleasure is not only in seeing the movies, but when the producer or the director or the writer of the material, whether it's a play or a book, and the actors are there to tell you what it was like behind the scenes, right? So that's what I'm excited to do for you on Saturday night. Also, Candy will do 2 live readings. If you are interested in having a reading, go to my website, which is christinaapp.com. Just push the contact, send me that note. You have to put in your email. I promise you it's not going to anybody but me and Candy, and Missy will see it, but we're not going to do anything bad with it. We're not going to sell it. And you can say, please put my name in for a reading. And out of everything we get by noon on Saturday, we will draw 2 names and we'll contact those people ahead of time. So that night, at the end of our presentation, those 2 people will get live readings via phone. Candy, I don't know how that's going to work exactly, but one of them, she'll call you, you call them, and you'll hear it live. Candy will put the phone on speaker, and it may sound like, oh, right, you've got to sit next to somebody. I will tell you that I have a friend in Colorado who has a friend, like this isn't even someone I know, who's lived in a house for 35 years and loves the house. He's a contractor, has totally remodeled it, has never been able to sleep through a night because of noises and bumps in the night and things falling and all that kind of stuff. And he finally got so desperate, he called my friend and said, I've got to find somebody. And of course, my friend says, I know somebody. And he calls me and I said, sure. So we connected Candy with this guy in Colorado. And I'm telling you, Candy sat on the phone, talked to this man, read him, told him what he needed to do, also did a clearing. And ever since then, that man has been able to sleep every night in that house. I swear to you, Candy Thornton is the real thing. So if you have any desire to have a reading, put your name in for this. And if you would like a private reading, you'll be able to reach out to Candy and she'd be happy to do that as well. So I don't know, I'm pretty psyched about Saturday and I hope you are too. And please share it and let's get lots of people to come and have a real party. It's always fun. The more the merrier. So anyway, thank you everyone. Whether you joined tonight, whether you joined once in the last 30 days, whether you were like Rick Lane and Peggy Gunther and oh my gosh, Janice, who came every night faithfully. I am so grateful for you, and Kathleen too. Thank you, and I'm glad that you came, and I'm glad we got to do this. This made my year. This could be the best thing that happens to me all year, but let's hope not. But anyway, I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow night for book 4, Catherine. And then Saturday night for our fun party. And again, it'll kind of be at Crown Hill. We couldn't go there because of the COVID stuff. And so we're doing the best we can. So Candy and Missy and I are going to Zoom. So you'll see all 3 of us all the time. But then we'll be on Facebook Live. And that's how you'll find us. So same time, same place, same station as they used to say in the old days, right? So, yeah. I'm going to go now. I made it. I was so worried I would cry again, and I didn't want to do that. So I'm grateful that I made it through. Thank you, Mary, it's God, the spirits, whoever. And thank you all.